Surprise, surprise, surprise. Surprise, guys. Hello. How are you guys doing? I'm going to give people a few minutes to get here. Um, I'm going to give everyone a few minutes to get here. Um, People do not know what time I was going to go live today. I just thought that I'd do a surprise time. I decided to do a surprise time. Today, this live will not be long, guys. Okay? However, I do have an assignment, but my assignment is not as usual. Okay? So, this is actually an update live today. And I want you guys to get used to this because there are going to be times where this is going to happen. Not intentionally, guys. Only because self care is important. Okay? I do not take breaks. I am always working. Okay? So, no, I do not take breaks. Even when I do not go live, I am still always working, okay? Because there's always something that God has me doing, okay? Um, so, first of all, I want to say Happy Father's Day, Happy late Father's Day to all of the fathers out there. Um, Happy Father's Day, Kings. I don't care if you do not have your children. I don't care if you are a single parent. I mean, I care, but people only want to put Happy Father's Day on people that are really actually um, taking like full responsibility and they just are single fathers. However, I believe that fathers are actually all fathers that help the mother have a child. I'm not saying that a father has no responsibilities, but a father does have responsibilities. However, I still want to say Happy Father's Day to those that try, because you have some that try. Okay, we have some that try, and for some apparent reason, um, the mothers and the fathers don't get along, and things don't go right most of the time. Sometimes, most of the time, you know, for whatever reason. So, even then, I still want to say Happy Father's Day, okay? Because my dad is not here anymore, guys. Okay, and Father's Day was the first day that this is the first Father's Day I was not able to really call him and say Happy Father's Day. You know, this year is the first Father's Day he's not gonna be here. So it was really very challenging for me, guys, over the weekend. Um, and I thought I'd come to the live and share with you guys about that. It was very challenging because it's really funny how that happened because um, I did not forget that Sunday was Father's Day. However, I tried to block out of my mind that Sunday was Father's Day. Um, in that order, however, I was not able to get in my mind that my dad is not here. And I actually woke up very emotional that day on Father's Day, and I was like, at first I said, why am I feeling this way? So I had to dig deep into it, guys. Like, um, why am I emotional on a day? It's not a day that, I want to be crying and, you know, um, no, I really wanted to be happy, and I actually was happy on that day. I didn't really think about. I didn't really wake up and say, "Oh, today is Father's Day, and I'm going to celebrate my dad." I actually said, "Whatever happens on this day, God, have Your way." I did. I did. Because I know that um, Father's Day is the first year. This year is the first year that my dad is not here on Father's Day. So I told God to have His way with me on that day. Okay, so it was very challenging because I did cry, guys. I am not ashamed to say that I cried. Okay, I did cry, okay, but in the end, I cried of happy tears. I cried of happy tears because I understood why I woke up crying, why I woke up in tears. Because when we have sleep, we don't fully understand, and that is really totally me. When I am just waking up in the morning, when I am just waking up in the morning, I am not together, guys. I'm not myself. So if you guys ever meet me in person, okay, and we happen to have a night out or something, okay, and please do not talk to me when I first wake up in the morning, okay? I have to come to myself. Okay, because when we wake up in the morning, we are, well, I don't know about any else, but I know me. I am not. Ooh, ooh, pardon me, guys. I am not all the way myself when I first wake up in the morning. So, um, I want to give God all the thanks for Father's Day. Okay, He has been my father since a little girl. Okay, He has been my father since the womb of my mother. Okay, um, but God really has taken the role of my father. Okay, and He let me know on that day that my father still was with me, and I didn't understand why I was feeling the way I was feeling, guys. I mean, like, I was really feeling emotional when I woke up. And mind you, I was not 100% myself when I woke up. So I was very, like, still trying to wake up. And I just started crying. I just started tearing because. And then when I came to my sense, I was like, it's Father's Day. Why am I crying? Why am I tearing? Not only because I miss my dad, okay, not only because I wanted him to be with me on that day, not only because I called him, I wanted to call him and say Happy Father's Day, okay? But because, see, this is how powerful God is, okay? He let me know that my father was there with me before I even woke up and came to my senses, okay? Because I didn't know. I didn't know. I did not know. But He made it clear to me because not only did I cry that morning, I cried throughout the day. Okay? And it was very interesting because I didn't cry as in a, I miss my dad, I miss my dad, oh my God. I cried in a peaceful way. I cried in a peaceful way that was very uncomfortable. Because when I cry, I am a person that I don't only cry to God, but I cry out loud to myself to ask myself why. Okay? And on that day, it was interesting that I didn't ask why. Very interesting that I didn't ask why. I didn't ask why, God, you take my father. We supposed to be celebrating on this day. Dad, why did you leave me? Those were not my whys. I didn't ask why. I asked why was I crying? Of course, because I was not 100% up in myself. Okay? So I did not ask why. And I have to say that Father's Day is the first day that I did not ask why. I was very shocked. I was very surprised. Because usually I would say, why? I would be asking God, why? But on Father's Day, I did not ask him why. And I really just sat with him on that day to understand what was taking place. Okay? And I needed to understand what was taking place. I needed to understand what he needed to tell me and what was the reason for his motive. And I came to the conclusion when he sat me down and he said to me, I know this is not a usual feeling. This is not comfortable. But you need to be uncomfortable in this state. For whatever reason, I don't know. I do not know why. And honestly, I don't want to know why. Because I trust him. I trust God, okay? So, for some reasons, and a lot of reasons, he might need to sit us down and talk to us on those times when we are in our state and we don't know why. Okay? But if you would sit down and you would completely pay attention, he'll tell you why. So I came to the conclusion, okay, that I needed to get adjusted to spending time with both of my fathers spiritually. Okay? Now, I done lost a lot of people in my life. Okay? I done lost family. I done lost friends. Okay? Through death. Okay? And it wasn't an easy thing for me. Okay? But see, one thing we will encounter that will be different is losing a parent or losing a child. Okay? Losing a child and losing a parent is the same degree. I don't care what anybody says. Okay? Losing a parent and losing a child is the same degree, because it's the same degree that you have emotionally, physically, mentally, the type of love that there is. The way you love your parents is the way you love your children. Okay? It's the way that I love God. Okay? And believe me, I was very uncomfortable. And this is why I tell you guys, okay, things in life is gonna be uncomfortable, but you need to know how to sit with it. Okay, I am accustomed to uncomfortableness, guys. I told you guys that before. So being uncomfortable is not the problem with me. Things are not made for me to figure out. Okay? I don't need to figure things out because when you start trying to figure things out, you start digging into things and figuring out things that is not for you to figure out. Figure out what you need to figure out. Okay? Investigate on what you need to investigate on, excuse me. But whatever you don't need to figure out, leave it up to God because He will reveal it to you. Okay? I've never asked God why did He take my father. Now I asked my father why did He leave me, but I didn't ask God. I never asked God why. Because I know why. Now, because my dad had a lot of health issues. Okay, of course, with struggling with addiction. Okay, was far beyond the way I love my dad. Okay, and I love my dad to the extreme. Okay. And I love my dad to the extreme, to the point of loving him just the way he was. Because it was nothing I can do about it. When someone is in addiction, okay, and someone is an addict, it's really nothing you can do about it because it is something that they have to want to do. That is not an easy fight to come up out of, okay? My dad was an addict. My mom was an addict, okay? And those are not easy fights, okay? Those are fights that you can possibly die, okay? And unfortunately, not only was my dad an addict, my dad he also had kidney failure. Okay? So, you know, I didn't know when my dad was gonna go, but my dad actually was warning me. Okay? So when you hear somebody say, I think they're warning me, you need to take heed to that. Okay? When you feel like a family member is warning you of something or they are updating you on something, you need to take heed to that. Okay? Because when something happens, don't be shocked and surprised because you should have took heed to that update. Okay? Oh, I spent a lot of time with my dad and God on that day. Okay? And I didn't, when I cried and I teared, they was happy tears. Okay? And this is not something you would normally hear people say. Okay? Oh, don't get me wrong. I miss my dad every single day of my life. That was my best friend. My dad was my best friend. We played pool together. Guys, he taught me how to play pool. Okay? My dad taught me how to paint. My dad taught me how to fix things. Fix toilets. My father taught me many jobs. Okay? You need to start trying to let people be the greatest that they can be while they are still here. Okay? I don't know who I'm talking to, but I know I'm talking to somebody. Okay? You need to take heed to updates to the important things in your life and the important people in your life. Okay? Because tomorrow is not promised. Okay? And you need to let them be the best version of themselves, the greatest version of themselves that they can be, because they might not have another chance to be the greatest version that they need to be. They might not be the greatest version that you want them to be, but they are trying to be the greatest version of themselves as fathers, as uncles, as cousins, as brothers. Okay? Happy Father's Day. Happy late Father's Day. Okay? I don't care if you're struggling to take care of your son or your daughter. Happy Father's Day. I don't care if you are an uncle and your brother is not here and you are taking the role of a father. Happy Father's Day. If you are a brother and you are taking the role of a father, happy Father's Day. Yes, I feel God. Whew. Yes, because we don't have enough admiring the brothers. We don't have enough admiring the kings, okay? Instead of trying to point out everything that they do wrong, let's look into what they are doing right. Okay? Yeah, I know it's a late live Father's Day. I know. Why am I talking about Father's Day on a Wednesday? Because it needs to be talked about. It needs to be talked about. Not even on that day, but every day. Okay? See, this is where I'm different. Okay? And this is where I want to motivate and inspire people. Okay? The things that we don't do enough is the things that we need to start doing a little more. Okay? I'm not trying, let me make this clear. Okay? I would love to change the world, but I know I can't change the world. Okay? I know I can't change the world, but I can do the best that I can do to help people that want to change and be the greatest version of themselves. Okay? That is the highest degree that I can get. Okay? So please, join me, okay? That is why I'm talking about Father's Day on a Wednesday, okay? This is an update video, guys. Yeah, we're talking about updates today, okay? Because, and believe me, guys, I did not write it down. Oh, no. I didn't write this down. This is special. This is special. I'll never forget this video. This is special. I don't need to write this down because this is special. Okay? And I'm doing this in honor of my father, God, first of all, and my father, Sean Perkins, okay, and my uncle Kevin Moore, okay, and my cousin Darwin, James, and my cousin Anthony. All of them guys that was a part of my life are now not here anymore. And the way that I see those guys strive, okay, they strive to be fathers, they strive to be leaders, they strive to be great men, they strive to keep their family together, they strive to protect, okay? They strive to be the greatest version of themselves, okay? So I need everyone, okay, including myself, please stop looking down on a man that is trying, okay? If you see a man that is trying, okay, keep letting them try. They will get it right, okay? My father kept trying. My father kept trying. He kept trying. He kept trying and kept trying and kept trying and kept trying, okay? And eventually, God called him because God knew that he couldn't fight no more. He didn't want to fight no more. My dad told me that he was tired. Okay? But he's going to keep fighting. He's not going to give up. And he didn't. He did it until he could do it. Until he couldn't do it no more. Okay? So to know that my father is not in pain anymore, okay? And he's now watching me be the greatest version of myself, okay? And helping people that wants to be the greatest version of themselves, okay? That is what he wanted for me, okay? That's why I spoke about him in the beginning of my video, my very first video, because I knew that what he wanted for me to do was he wanted me to do what I love to do, and that is motivate and inspire people, okay? Isn't that the same thing God would want for me? Oh, yeah. That is the same thing that God would want for me. And that is the same thing your higher power will want for you. That is the same thing that your father will want for you. That is the same thing that your brother will want for you. That is the same thing that your cousin, he will want that for you. That is the same thing that any man that is a part of your life, I don't know who I'm talking to, any man that is a part of your life, that plays a father role for you, or that plays a brother role for you, okay, will want that for you. So I talk about Father's Day on a Wednesday to say that we need to celebrate the men in our lives, okay, every day. Oh yeah, I don't know who I'm talking to, but I know I'm talking to somebody. Give them their flowers while they're here. Okay? Oh yeah, I told my dad before he left this earth. Okay? We might have not always been on good terms. Okay? Because it was a time where me and my dad stopped speaking for a whole year. We fell out over an argument. And we stopped speaking for a whole year. And God sat me down and said, listen, enough is enough. Okay? You don't need to go no longer without speaking to your father. And if I were you, I would get back involved with your father again. You need to get back in touch with him now. And that is exactly what I did. Okay? That is exactly what I did. I did as I was told, guys. And this is for real. This is for real. This is for real. This is not made up. Okay? Because I actually called somebody up and I said, look, because it just dawned on me, and God just came to me out of nowhere and said, you need to get back in touch with your father now. And I did. And I called my friend up and I said, look, I think that I need to get back in touch with my father. And because I need to do it, because I'm being told that I need to do it. And I have this feeling that it's really urgent that I do it. And my friend of mine said, well, do what you gotta do. Is that what God told you to do? Because if that's what God told you to do, then you need to do what you gotta do. And I did it. And when I tell you that my dad was so happy, and I was so happy because I missed my dad that whole year. I just didn't know how to, I just didn't know how to approach the situation, okay? Because I still was, at that time, I still was trying to work on myself at that time. I still was really not even 100%. I still was dealing with lots of emotions, okay? Oh no, I wouldn't have been able to do these videos in that time, guys. Oh no. I wouldn't have been able to do these videos at that time because I would not have been able to keep up. I would not been able to keep up with my mind. I wouldn't be able to keep up with my heart. I wouldn't been able to keep up with my spirit. I wouldn't be able to keep up with my soul. I wouldn't be able to keep up with my body, okay? I would not have been able to do these videos at that time because I was not well. Yeah. I was not well mentally enough to do this, okay? And God needed me to get well first before I can do this. Thanks to God that I am able to do what I love to do, and that is motivate and inspire people to be the greatest version of themselves as a king and as a queen, okay? I need you to give the men in your family or the men that are a part of your life their flowers now and every day, okay? Because they don't know, okay? They only get celebrated once a year, okay? And we as women, okay, I'm gonna keep it funky, and I know women are not gonna like this, okay? They're gonna say, shh, no, be quiet, be quiet. We can celebrate it every day. Women get celebrated every day. We get celebrated every day. Even if you do not realize that you are getting celebrated, you get celebrated every day. You get celebrated every time your child calls your name to say they want something to eat. You get celebrated every time your husband say he's hungry. He needs you to iron his clothes. He needs you to type a paper. He needs you to sign something. He needs you to do this. You are celebrated every day because as a woman, we are needed every day. We are needed in our worship. We are needed in our homes. We are needed in our churches. We are needed in our families. We are needed to ourselves. Okay? And I can't tell a man how to be a man. Okay? This is why we need to celebrate the men the way we get celebrated every day. Okay? Because the men in our lives has just as much celebration as we do. Okay? Us as women, we cannot tell our sons how to be men. We cannot tell our sons how to be husbands. Okay? We can only tell them how to treat a woman. We can only tell them what not to do to a woman. We can only tell them how to treat a woman. How a woman sees a man. But we cannot teach them how to be men. I don't care what women say. Okay? We cannot teach them how to be men. We're going to do it to the best of our abilities. Okay? We're going to raise our sons on a woman's aspect. Okay? But you need a man to raise your son on a man's aspect. Okay? Because there are going to be times in his life where he's going to be challenged as a man. Okay? He's going to face challenges in the world as a man. Okay? Can't teach sons how to be a man. You can only teach them to a degree on how to be a man. And I mean a degree, because at some degree we cannot go over that line. Because now we are calling up our uncles, we are calling up our brothers, we are calling up our cousins, we are calling up our fathers, okay? And we are saying, look, you need to have a talk with your nephew. You need to have a talk with your son. Because I don't know what's going on in his head. I don't know what he's doing out in the streets. You need to have a conversation. So we know men need to be celebrated every day. If you are a single mother and something is happening in your house and your landlord is not coming to fix it, who are you calling? Are you calling your uncle? Are you calling your cousin, your male cousins? Or are you calling your son's father or your daughter's father to come and help fix something? Okay? Or you calling a male cousin, somebody that knows how to get the job done? Okay? This is why men need to be celebrated just as much as women. They need to be told more, okay, of how appreciated they are. Teach our children to appreciate their fathers, okay? We need to learn how to appreciate our fathers while they're here. Even appreciate God. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I appreciate that man from inside out, everything all over me. Okay? My dad woke me up in tears. My dad woke me up in tears. Okay? And guess what? He might have woke me up in tears, but my day ended beautiful. My day ended beautiful, okay? I got to laugh and talk about all the good times I had with my dad. I got to, take the time and just think about all the good things that me and my dad talked about, what the beautiful relationship we had, okay? I am so happy and so grateful Okay, and I honor my father even though he's not here. I'm still going to honor him every day of my life. Okay? Because my father showed me what it was to fight effectively. He showed me what it was with a man that fights for what he loves. He showed me what it was when a man loves a woman. He showed me how effectively a man can be when they are a part of your life. Honesty, truth, caring, compassion, mercy. Oh yeah, both of my fathers had mercy on me. Okay? Now, my father might have not liked what I did in my life as a teenager, and I'm going to say both of them. Okay? Might not have agreed on it. Okay? But they see how I turned out. Okay? So although I know my father Sean did not give up on me, okay? And to know that he did not give up on me, in all these years I thought my father gave up on me, and he did not ever give up on me. Both of my fathers never gave up on me. Okay? So yes, I am keeping it funky, guys. We need to give our kings their flowers while they here. Okay? And I know that sounds a little flowers. What? Flowers. We need to give them the appreciation while they're here. Okay? And people don't talk about it enough because it's only talked about once a year. Okay? Father's Day, Father's Day, Father's Day. Celebrate your father every day. I don't know who I'm talking to, but if you have a male role model, celebrate them every day. Be the queen and celebrate them every day. I don't care if you got to just call and say, I love you, I appreciate you for taking the role of a father to my son, and you are his uncle. Thank you for taking the role of a father, and you are not my real father. Thank you for taking the role of my father, and you are his uncle. Thank you for taking the role of my son's father, and you are not his father. Thank you for taking the role of a father, and you are my big brother. Okay? Thank you for taking the role of a protector in my life. Okay? Yeah. I have a few men left in my life. Okay? But right now, I know that there's a role that I have to play now. Oh yeah, it's my turn. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I got this strong. Okay? So Father's Day is not just about giving once a year. Okay? Father's Day is not about just gifts. Okay? But Father's Day is about appreciation. Appreciating them while they're still here. Letting them know that they are loved while they're still here. Okay? So Father's Day and Mother's Day is every day for me. That's the way I see it. To me, I feel like Mother's Day and Father's Day is not just one year around. See, a lot of people is not going to talk about this. because they want to go into details. My son father don't do this. My son father don't do that. Baby, you need to talk about what he do. You need to talk about what he do. And what about what he does do? Does he try to come to an agreement with you? Does he try to get the child when he can? Just because it's not on your time when you want to, doesn't mean you shouldn't appreciate what he can do. Okay? I'm just saying. No, the women ain't gonna like me for this, but that's okay. I just thought I'd keep it funky on the update today. Because we got to update these things. Okay? I don't know who I'm talking to. But I know I'm talking to somebody. Whatever man you got a part of your life right now, you need to celebrate them. I celebrate God every day of my life. Okay? Because even when my father wasn't there, he was there. He was there. And even while my father was here, he still was there. And even after my father is not here anymore, he's still here. Okay? Oh yeah, guys, I didn't write this down. I don't need to write this down because this is a surprise. Pop in. Pop in. Yeah, I wanted to share with you guys about Father's Day. Father's Day is an appreciation that you got here. Because if it wasn't for your father, your mother wouldn't be pregnant. Your mother would not have gotten pregnant to have you. Okay? You might have got here eventually. Okay? But we're speaking specifically for you are here. Okay? And most people don't want to admit it. Oh, my father's just a sperm donor. I don't care about my father. He never been a part of my life. I don't care about him. Yes, you do. Stop lying to yourself. Yes, you do. You really want a relationship with your father. But what you need to do, if that's what you want to do, you need to go to your higher power first. Okay? The other thing is, you need to get out your childish ways. Get out of your childish ways, okay? Just be who you are. And say, Daddy, I love you. Daddy, I missed you. Can we please work on building a relationship? See, your pride and your ego is messing with you. Saying that if you go to your father and say you want a relationship, you're going to feel low and belittled because you are asking for a relationship with your father. Your father is God, or your father is your father, the one that spurned you, okay? Whatever father you have, or whatever male that you look up to, it is okay to say that you want a relationship. Because if that's who you look up to, then you need to get that relationship. And we talked about relationships before. Okay? Yeah, relationships are important, guys. Because when that person, that male that you looked up to is not here anymore, and now you are on bad terms with them, and you're leaving on bad terms, now you're weeping, and you're crying, and you're feeling in regret, and you're feeling in pain. You wish you would have made it right. Well, listen, you got the chance to make it right now. Make it right. Don't worry about who's talking. Don't worry about people saying, why are you doing this? Don't worry about what people got to say. Don't worry about what people got to say. Hey, Marcy, how you doing, beautiful? How you doing, queen?